Hi there everybody, and welcome to another video. On today's video I have this VW Polo. This is a 2012, and I'm just going to show you how you could fit a reverse camera. So in this case I have fitted it on this car, but I have another VW Polo exactly the same year, and that's basically what comes up on this. Which is quite helpful. And also this this particular one that I have here is fairly cheap, so I will show you how to fit this one, which is fairly cheap, but you may want to consider spending a little bit extra money maybe on a slightly better one, but this still works. This is around I think it's about £25, and it's quite easy to fit, to be fair. So however, the only downside of it is that where the camera goes at the back, you have to drill a fairly big hole, because the wires coming out of the camera don't separate. Slightly better quality or slightly more expensive ones of these, you can actually separate the cable from the connection from the camera, and then you only have to drill a small hole. But it all depends on how big a hole you want to drill in your bumper. But anyway, I'll fit one of these, and you can make your own decision as to whether you get a better one or not. Okay, so I've got the car here, the Polo, and this is the reverse camera I'm going to be installing. So this is the rear view mirror here, which you get in this kit, which you fit on top of the other one, and then run the wiring. And like I said, this is a fairly easy one to connect. Here's some instructions, but the only thing about this one is that, as I said, it's cheap, and so the wiring could be better, but it's not. So anyway, you get for what you pay, and also but however, it does work. It works quite well. It's not bad. You get quite a large rear view mirror there. The little reverse screen comes up here, and then you have your wiring. Got that, and we have that one, and we have this one. So this here will connect to here. This one here, it's the power to connect there, and same with the other side. So this one here will power the camera that's actually here. So this is the little camera. So what I'm going to do is this long wire here goes all the way from the front to the back. So one end, this end will be coming out somewhere here, and this other end will be in the front. So what I'll do is I'll put this from front to the back, and I'll show you from sort of where I'm tucking it in and how I come out here. So in fact, we're gonna do some of the connections behind this panel. This panel literally comes out, it pops out, so not a hard one to remove. Sometimes you can just even grab it and pull it up, but I may just need some tools, and also I may pull this little rubber here out a little bit. So let me run the wire from the front to back, and then we'll start putting it into the grooves. Okay, so this mirror just fits on top of the original mirror, so you can see it's just mounted on top. These bits here expand, they are like spring loaded, so you can fit that on top of your mirror. And then you have your wires here, and these wires are gonna go, we're gonna hide them behind this the roof lining here. The only thing, so this is the thing about this camera, is that these only go up to certain point there, and they are quite thick. So the slightly better quality cameras will have a one long wire cable that goes all the way from here to down there, so you don't have to tuck all of these thick things in there. So those are the differences, but it's okay, we can still tuck these ones in there. It's just a little bit more, obviously, less tidy in a way. And the other cable, the long cable that I was showing you at the back, it's here, it's right here. I haven't tidied that up yet, so it's just coming up here. This is how it's going to come. This connection, this yellow wire will come here and will connect onto that, basically. That's how it's going to be connected, literally. And then the wire that comes out of here, which is the power, has two wires, a red one and a black one. The red one will connect to this red wire, so we're going to connect those two together. And then the black wire that comes out of the plug that plugs in here will connect it to an earth on the side of the car. So far, as far as connections go, that will be all the wiring that you need to do in the front. The rest of what we're doing here is just tucking this nicely, so it's not hanging like it is at the moment. So I'll start tucking this up a little bit, and I will show you once it's a little bit in how I do it. Okay, so I just want to show you the lining here. So the cable comes out of the mirror here, and we want to tuck it into behind this lining. So this is a thick part of the cable here, and it is possible to push it back in there, so it will go in there like so. But you just want to make sure that when you're pulling this down, you don't pull it too much, otherwise it's quite delicate stuff, so you can damage it, but you don't want to damage it. So again, when you push these ones in, do it also carefully. When you pull the lining down, like I am at the moment, so I can tuck this white connection in there because we're not going to be using it, so it will go in there, as you can see, and then that will, and all of these has to go in there as well. So then we want to run the rest of the cable along here and down this end, and also obviously we have to connect that. Okay, so I've just connected, this is the cable that's going to supply the power, and there will be, as you saw, there's a black and a red cable that come out of there. So I've cut the red wire, I just cut it because it's obviously quite long as well, so that was there, and I cut it, and also I cut this one a little bit. So I'm going to peel these two and connect them together, and then we're ready to tuck all of this in there, and then we're going to run the earth wire together with the camera wire. We're gonna run it through here and down this pillar, and then in here we're going to find an earth connection which we want to use for our earth supply. Obviously, you can be as careful as you need to so you don't cause any damage to your vehicle. So we're gonna use one of these holes here, or I may even drill a little hole in there. We could potentially use that hole for our earth. So now I'm gonna peel these two first, put a little bit of masking tape on them, and then tack this around. Okay, I've got my connection done there. Just put some masking tape, and now I'm just gonna put a little bit of masking tape and cover this area here. Okay, I just got that bit there covered with some masking tape. So now I'm going to push this connection through the back of the lining and all the way to the back there, and what I want to do is pass it through here. So you may have noticed I have my tool in there, and that is to be able to open this a little bit. I don't really want to pull it out, but I just want to sort of open it a little bit to get my cable through there. It is a little bit fiddly. This is quite hard stuff. It could pop out if you're pulling it out quite a bit, but you can pop it back in. But the clips that are holding this pillar are so hard to pull out that sometimes you end up breaking the clip or the plastic. So that's why I don't really want to pull it out. I just want to open it a little bit in order to get my wire through there and behind this here all the way down. That is my aim at the moment. So I'm gonna give that a go, and like I said, well, if I have any extra tips I'll give them to you, but I'm gonna use a tool like this, a prying tool, so I can open that a little bit, push the lining in, but at the same time avoid damaging this lining, which can get a little bit damaged if you're not really careful, because it's very soft, very easy to bend or to cause creases on it. So be aware. Okay, so let me show you guys here. I got my cables behind there and through here, but as you can see I dented my lining there a little bit. So sometimes that ends up popping out on its own, but that's the kind of thing I'm talking about. That's why you have to be quite careful. But it's really hard to open this cover to get your wire in there. So if you're gonna fit one of these cameras, that is something that you need to think about. And now the other the cable that I managed to get through to here. So basically I used one of these, put it in there and open that like so, and all the way through. So I've actually used my flathead screwdriver and this to open this bit of lining in one place here and then in another place, and then put the cable in and then move down, slowly move down. This area here is the hardest, but it is doable. So now I have my two cables coming out here. This is gonna be my earth. That needs to be earthed to the body here, and this obviously is the camera, which actually this in fact this cable here, you could just you don't really need to bring it all the way down. I just realized that myself. Completely forgot, because I done one of these the other day. this one here, you can just run it straight from this point behind this lining here all the way to the back. So yes, this one I didn't actually need to bring it back here, so I'm gonna just take it out in a minute, but that's how I ran that down. Okay, I removed my cable from down there, so now I only have the earth sticking out there. So this one is gonna go behind this lining here, and obviously you want to try and not just tuck it in behind. You don't just want to try and tuck it in behind the rubber, although that would work. But you want to try and just fit it behind, so under the lining here. So that would be the idea. And again, you're gonna come to this place where it gets a little bit challenging, but you want to pass it through here and then all the way back. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that, and then I'll show you how I do it at the back. Okay, so far I've got my cable all the way through here. I just pushed it into this groove. It's just pushed into the groove. It's not behind the panel. Pushed into the groove, and then I come along this area here. Again, I still have to sort of push the cable in a little bit so it sits sort of behind the lining, so that way your rubber here is gonna sit flush with the lining here. So I've come this way, and again just here gone behind the panel here a little bit, and again just pushed it through. You can just see the cable there, or maybe you can't see it, but it's just there. It just pushed in there. It's not behind the panel. And then here I pull this down a bit in order to go across there and come out the other side. So the way I've done that is got my tool here and just push the panel down like so in order to get the cable to go past this here, and then got it in there in that groove, and now I'm just running it down. But it is a little bit difficult to run it down behind this, so what I've done is with this tool again, I got it behind here and just pulled this bit of rubber out. So obviously that is sitting in there. Let me just see, like so. So there is a groove on this rubber that goes inside of that metal, like so, if you can see. If you pull it out, it comes out, but it's hard to pull it out, and that's what I'm doing. I'm just pulling this out up to there, and now it's gonna be so much easier for me to push this cable in here, literally just like that, because all I want is for this cable to go in there, in that little groove there. And that's basically what I'm doing, just pushing it in there. So much easier when the rubber is out. The reason I don't pull the rubber on the doors is because it's a bit harder to pull it out. Definitely doable, but harder. And then we reach this point here where we want to pull this panel up. So I've already done this side, and what I've did is basically got, again, my magic tool here, got it under there and pull this plastic out. It is plugged in very tight. The clips that hold this, they're so hard to remove. Okay. So that is out. These are the clips, these metal clips here are really hard to pull out, and as you can see, that one is actually remained in there. So we'll have to try to get this one out, but that's how hard they are. So that goes in there, and so your cable is gonna come out through here, and then here. So just need to lift that up a little bit, tuck this in nicely. Obviously, now that is in, you can actually push this back in place. Again, it can be a little bit of a fiddle fitting this rubber back on, but it does go in there, and then sometimes you have to tap it in a little bit so it goes in properly. And then this here, so this is the other end, this is the other end of the cable. That is gonna go, that is going to plug into the camera, which I don't know where it is here. So there's my camera. That yellow connection will plug in there. And then the power, same as the front, is this here. And the only difference with the power is that we need to connect the red wire here. We need to connect this red wire to this red wire, but also the red wire needs to connect to the reverse light. So when you engage reverse, your camera switches on. And the actual camera is gonna go somewhere here, just next to the number plate. So this is where we need to drill the hole. And the thing is, the hole we need to drill is a little bit large because we need to get this through there. So on other cameras, this part will be separated. It will be separated, so you only have to drill, and it's a little bit skinnier. You only have to drill a small hole to get that through. But in this case scenario, we have to drill quite a big hole to get this through. So it is what it is. But I think you can pretty much see how this is going and what we need to do. So I'm gonna go ahead, do the drilling, get my wires here. We need to remove this cluster to access the reverse wiring where we can connect that. So I'm gonna go ahead and do all of that. Removing this cluster is quite easy in this car. You just open that and undo this here, which is like a spring-loaded bolt that you can undo with your hand, but it's a little bit, it can be a bit hard. So I'm just gonna do that. Once you release that, it comes out like a bolt, and then this becomes loose, and then you just need to pop it out. Okay, I got this out. Getting this out was quite hard, to be honest, especially if you have to do it with your fingers. But then this becomes loose, and use a prime plastic tool will be much better. But all we need to do is sort of unplug the light from here. So although I'm just using that, I'm just being careful. But that will come out like this, and we can then disconnect it from here. Right, so we just need to unplug this light and there's a couple of sort of clips here that we need to press in order to get this out. And sometimes the bottom clip is a little bit harder to press than the top one is. So I'm just gonna use my screwdriver here to press that little clip in there and try to get this connection out. But I may go ahead and do that with my two hands because I don't want to drop this on the floor and crack it. Okay, so these are the two bits that we're pressing in, the top one, this bottom one here. Now we have a brown cable here. The brown cable, it's the earth we're gonna use, and as far as I remember, the blue and black here is the reverse. So I will double check that in a minute. But if you look down here, the blue and black, it's the first one from the bottom, and then you have 5 connections, and that's what we have here. So, but if you look in here, there are actually 6 connections, so just not to get confused with that, because you have to start from the second one in this case scenario. So I will double check, make sure that the blue and black is the reverse. And so now I'm gonna start peeling off the wires. They need to be peeled off a little bit in order to be connected. So, and also I'm gonna drill the holes. I'm gonna do the whole thing and then I'm gonna show you what I've done. Okay, I just wanted to show you, I drilled the hole, and this is where the cables are gonna go through. So I've already put the red cable in, and now the yellow one in there, and then this is gonna go in there, and then we're going to secure the camera here. And these cables, you will find them if you actually remove this, if you take this grommet here out, if you just this grommet here has some cable going through there, so this just pops out like so. Just take it out, and then you're gonna have to find the cables coming from here going somewhere along there. So I may actually need my two hands here to get that through, but I will get the cables and I will show you. The other thing I wanted to mention is, so I've got here my power cable and the camera cable, and as I said, the two reds, so I cut them here and I connected the two reds together, same as the front, and then the remaining of this red wire is going through here together with the black wire behind this panel and just coming out through here and coming out here. So I soldered, just used a little bit of soldering and got the black wire to the brown and the red wire to the blue and black there. And now I'm gonna masking tape these two and also this one here, because this will be a positive, so you don't want to touch it to ground, especially when the car is in reverse. But anyway, I'm gonna mask that so it doesn't have any issues. And we're almost there. I mean, all I have to do is find the wire here, plug it all in here, and we can tidy up all this wiring somewhere here underneath this section. And the last thing will be to drill 2 little holes to hold the camera in place. So I'm gonna progress with that and come back to it. Okay, so I've got 2 little screws, Phillips screws that come with a kit, and I made 2 little holes up here where this camera is going to go. It's going to be at a slight angle and just facing back. Normally it has to be facing a little bit down as well to give you an accurate picture, but that's something you can adjust yourself once you know, once you have a picture in your mirror and what you need. So I'm just going to fit those 2 little Phillips screws in there to secure the camera. And as I mentioned before, these cables, they're when you push them through that hole there, you will see them inside of here, and so you can bring this out here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this little grommet here a little bit in order for this cable to go in between, so I can close the grommet, because this is like a water thing. And we're pretty much done here. So all we have to do now is connect this here like so, and then our power supply is gonna go in here. That just pushes in there as well. So that's done. My connection here, the red wire, and to the headlight. So not the headlight, the reverse cluster here. And that's pretty much it, really. So I'm just gonna secure that, and then I will show you how it comes up on the mirror. Okay, got my camera secured, and I just finished fitting the trim and whatnot. And now we can have a look at what it looks like when we put this in reverse. So I'm just going to get the ignition on, start the car, apply reverse, and there's the camera. It's actually quite a good picture. It's a bit difficult to distinguish here with the camera filming, but it is a good picture. One thing I may have forgotten to mention, it's so I'm just going to put that in reverse. Camera is on, and this camera does have some lights. Those little 4 lights come on, those LEDs. So at night it sort of illuminates the area where you're going. But what I did forget to mention, it's my wire here, the earth wire. I ended up drilling a little hole and putting a screw in that little hole. So I did that because I didn't have a screw big enough to fit the bigger hole on the side. So that's pretty much the end of the installation here. Like I said, it's not a difficult one. It's just a bit fiddly running the wire all the way back, but you just want to make sure obviously it is not hanging anywhere or whatnot, and try not to cause obviously any damage if you can avoid it. But otherwise it's a fairly neat camera, reverse camera. Looks nice. That mirror is quite big as well, it gives you a nice vision. When the camera is not on, the mirror works perfectly well. So having said that, the camera costs me around 30 quid, I think. And like I said, there are much expensive ones out there which are a little bit not easier to fit. The process is the same, but just the way they are designed maybe is a little bit better in terms of having big chunks of pieces that go in between, like in between the liners and whatnot. So anyway, having said that, I hope the video helps. Don't forget to subscribe, and we'll see you on the next video, and thank you for watching.